Taurus, welcome to your Celtic cross reading. Like always, we're going to put down your baseline and then we'll clarify, yeah? And as usual, these are general collective readings, not one-to-one private, which is to say they may or may not resonate. So take it resonates, if it does not, yeah? If it does not resonate at all, perfectly normal. Check your other placements. You will find yourself in there somewhere, okay? Show me that Taurian collective. Show me that Taurian collective. What's going on? Show me that Taurian collective. Okay, the moon. Okay, crossing, Eight of Cups, hovering. The High Priestess, you're in there somewhere, honey. Queen of Pentacles in your relevant past. Exiting the Three of Pentacles before you healing. Okay, the Hermit, Two of Cups, good. Okay, Six of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, good. You're showing me a lot of positivity in terms of recovery. Emotionality, state of balance, doing well in your productive world, no doubt. Healing measures, nice, calm pace. Okay, whatever it is that needs to happen here in terms of a leveling effect, it seems to be happening. Just, again, at your own particular pace. You're showing me a certain particular emotional numbness that you're not entirely aware of. Okay, hopefully I'm seeing you come out of that because you have all the skills, you have all the abilities. It's within you. So let's start from the very beginning. The moon. Okay, crossing you is the Eight of Cups. So you may not be aware of this. Okay, what's going on in your own moonscape there? Emotional absenteeism, right? Feeling a little numb. Under the moon. So again, you may not be aware of it. However, your intuition is above you, surrounding you, hovering around you. You can reach out and feel it at any time, but you have to be willing to come out of the moon. In other words, acknowledge that particular numbness within you. And then I think you could better access your higher self there. What is relevant to your past? You know who you are. Queen of Pentacles, your state of comfort and care, knowing your sense of worth and self-value. Exiting the Three of Pentacles, a working construct, a friendship, a collaborative effort. I don't know, but it seems to be exiting. What is before you is a sense of healing, temperance, time, patience. Okay? And then the Hermit, more healing, your strengths. Okay? Two of Cups, your environment. Equal love of share. Support systems, not sure, but we'll take a look. It looks lovely. Hopes and fears, something to do with the soul bond and or soulmate. Your outcome, you're working through something. Or it's just straight up work. We'll see. Some of you might be experiencing an increase in work productivity, or you're just working. We'll see. Let's start with that moon. Let's see what's kicking around. Show me that Taurus moon. Speaking of which, it was Taurus moon actually, October 28th. It was beautiful. Full moon, as well as your lunar eclipse. Very powerful energy. Show me that Taurian moon, please. Show me that Taurian moon. Had to readjust the board so it'd visually make more sense to everybody. All right, let's see that moon, please. Okay, Temperance. Okay, Six of Wands, the Chariot. Yeah. You know, there's a sense of, Christina, I remember what it is to feel good, and I've kind of lost sight of that. Okay. So here we have the Chariot, our swiftest, most sincere vehicle. Six of Wands, a sense of pride. Okay, of seeing and being seen, right? Recognition, temperance. You're saying it's been a while since I felt some of these things. That kind of drive, that oomph, it's within you. I know it's within you. You can't be showing me that kind of energy and not have it within you. It's under your moon. It's like you can't access it or you haven't been able to access it for some time. Your sense of drive, momentum, pride. Feeling good about you and your sense of accomplishment. Some of you have some very strong healing components in your chart, particularly Sagittarius as well as Virgo. FYI. It's spiritually and emotionally, you're trying to work through it. You're trying to get back to that place where it's accessible to you. Okay. And some of these really intense components that are beautiful in and of their own right. You're like, I can't access them. I know they're there, but I can't access them. I feel kind of separated from me and my drive, Christina. Let's keep cracking. I want to see why you're emotionally checked out. That's going to tell me a lot. I believe it will. Show me the Eight of Cups, please, for Taurus. Show me the Eight of Cups, please. I know you have a Chariot within you. Okay, that's my direction. There you go. That's my direction. End of story. Six of Wands. The recognition, to see and be seen. Temperance, to have patience and a sense of self in this whole thing, to be part of it, to know that I'm part of it, to feel it. You're saying I'm feeling a little shut down right now. Okay. Let's take a look at that Eight of Cups. Let's see that Eight of Cups is crossing you. That emotional numbness is crossing you. That Three of Pentacles. on the exit. Page of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles. The exiting energy with the Three of Pentacles, we will take a look at that, of course. You're telling me this is something that you used to be open to, and it felt good to you, Nine of Pentacles. Whatever this cooperative effort was, let's call it friendship for now, just for the sake of simplicity. You're saying you recognize it, it made you feel good, it was something that you were participating in, and you were able to cultivate to some extent. You put some of yourself into it, not too much, as denoted by the Page of Wands, but you did try to put something of yourself into it. And it felt good, it felt right, it put you into a place of independence. In other words, you participated in this of your own free will, and it felt good. But I'm seeing that same, that same Three of Pentacles exit for you. Okay. And as it exits, did that contribute to your numbness? Something that you used to put yourself into. Again, not too much, but enough that it felt right to you. So I don't know what that is, guys. It could be work, project orientation, cooperation. There's a sense of you and I building this together. Okay. You miss it. You miss it. Long story short, you miss it as it exits. You know, there's something here you used to contribute to, and you're not contributing to it anymore. It seems to be exiting of its own free will, and it kind of puts you in a numb place. So I'm not putting myself into this anymore. And so I kind of see, and for some reason it's kind of taken a, it's kind of knocked your confidence sideways, and your sense of emotional presence is a little absent because of this. I need to see that, but first, let's jump on over here to intuition. What's your intuition telling you, honey? Show me that High Priestess, please. Show me that High Priestess. Show me that High Priestess. Show me that High Priestess. Show me that High Priestess, please. Whatever that was that you were putting yourself into, cooperative, it gave you a certain level of emotional movement that you associate with pride, and this feels good, and you said that's gone into a quiet place now. The Four of Pentacles, the Hermit, Queen of Cups. Okay, your intuition's telling you Four of Pentacles, the Hermit. I mean, some of you are such deep healers. Temperance twice, the Hermit twice. You have this fantastic ability to really cope with things in your own time and measure. Non-rushed. These are non-rushing principles. The Hermit and Temperance aren't really known for that. They're not known for speed, nor should they be. We heal when we heal. But I can kind of see your intuition's talking to you. Four of Pentacles, the Hermit, Queen of Cups, Taurus, honey. Intuitively, you understand in some way, even if it's not blunt, obvious, right? Let's say nobody's pointing this out to you. It's not written down. Nobody's talking to you about this. This is all looking very internal, okay? I don't see you expressing yourself. This is what you're experiencing. But your intuition, which is not exactly a blunt tool, it's kind of vague, misty. It's felt more than expressed, okay? You're saying intuitively, in some way, in some measure, you understand that you're holding on to this Four of Pentacles. Is because even while you hold on to it, part of you heals your heart space as you go along with this particular process. And you do look forward to healing onto your heart, healing your heart, holding on to it in all the right ways. Being able to access your emotions again. Your more higher self of King, Queen of Cups energy, right? The emotional claiming in oneself, this is what I feel, and thus what I know to be true. When you allow yourself to feel about this, it's not really a surprise to you that you're holding on to it. When you hold on to it and you allow yourself to feel that you're holding on to it, you have an interesting effect that takes place in you that allows you to access your heart and otherwise in what looks like, on the surface, an absent Taurus. So when we get past your reaction of this exiting your life, what's happening on a deeper scale in you is that when you reflect upon it, it takes you into other places of your heart. The loss of this and how you found yourself in it, in whatever way that was, okay, and I know it's so very vague, and I apologize. I know it seems like, well, this explains that, and this is why I'm absent, and this is why I kind of feel like I've lost my footing on my direction. But within the absence of this and how it's exiting is allowing you to access a place in you that's a bit deeper than all this. It puts you into a place of reflection about your heart space, specifically your feelings. And because it's on the intuitive level, you're showing me the Hermit, then when it takes you into these new recesses and avenues of your heart, you feel yourself better. Outside of the Moon energy and the Eight of Cups, that's the surface presentation, okay? The symptoms of something, I'm saying exit. But again, it's allowing you to access other places in you that are deep. And they're there, and they've always likely been there. The elements of healing and intuition once more. Something that goes beyond, this makes me feel good. Or this gives me drive or momentum. This is more of your solid state drive of heart or feeling. So this exiting, whichever it is, well, you're saying part of you is emotionally numb towards it and you'd like to stop feeling anything towards it, or that this exiting has put you into a state of not feeling something that's not true. It's really just forcing you to change direction and how you access your feelings and what you understand your heart space to be. Okay, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Let's see that Queen of Pentacles, please, in the relevant past. You're learning. You are learning. You are learning and traveling new roads in your heart. It may not seem that way. But the part of you that lightly whispers acknowledges this movement, even though it's not obvious. It's having you touch other things within you that you may not have known were there. Three of Cups, Strength, the Empress, man. In your relevant past, boy howdy. I know. And that part of you is still there too. Your sense of what gives you comfort and stability and joy, that's all here. And it's still with you. It is. I think you're learning new things about yourself. And you can kind of have a sharp reflection about where you were. Okay. Here, again, Strength, Three of Cups, the Empress. When you connected to something, someone, it didn't just feel right, it felt very right. Strong. And it brought out some really beautiful qualities in you. I'm not saying that Empress is anyone else but you. You're the Empress in this context. And Three of Cups, my Strength. Man, when you connected in some place that represents that Three of Cups within the heart. I don't know who or what that is, but it brought out some beautiful qualities in you. Strength. Sense of beauty, generosity. All the aspects that we associate with Venus, which you are ruled by. And again, it wasn't much, just like that Three of Pentacles wasn't much. Just like that Three of Cups isn't much. But when you connected with it, boy, did it take you to some very strong places within you. So the immediate avenues and how you used to access it have been detoured or rerouted. And you acknowledge the fact that you haven't let this go. So it's not like it's unknown to you. You know. And as it exits, let's take a look at that. It puts you into places where you kind of remember where you came from, how you reacted to this, leaving and or exiting. And in the absence of being able to access it like you used to, it's opening up to new places in your heart. Let's see that Three of Pentacles. Show that Three of Pentacles, please. Show that Three of Pentacles, please. That's exiting. Show that Three of Pentacles, please. Oh. King of Swords, Five of Wands, Ten of Swords, yeah. Whatever it is here that's exiting that you associate having put yourself into, as we've covered, how you've reacted to it, you're not entirely aware of it, under the moon. It did make you feel very strong things in terms of confidence and direction, but for some reason it didn't give you full access to your heart. Not until it started to exit did it start to reroute you into different areas of your heart, like I said. It's almost like you're finding a different way to hotwire a car. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like the key doesn't fit in this particular ignition switch anymore, Christina, but I still need the darn thing to run. So it's fun. It's looking to me like you're finding other direct pathways to your heart in absence of this. It's clearly exited. It's not pretty. It's not. The King of Swords, the Five of Wands, the Ten of Swords. There was argument here, frustration, anger. Ten of Swords, shut down, pain. Whichever this is, stop cooperating, and willfully exited of its own accord. Whoever that is, it's not you. That King of Swords energy could be air sign, but the idea is the sharpness, the firmness, right? Especially with the Five of Wands and the Ten of Swords. This was a not pretty conversation. This was a not pretty occurrence. It is on the exits. And there were some harsh things said and or done here in that moment in time. And it has since put you in this kind of place of, well, this is no longer accessible to me at the Three of Pentacles level or the Three of Cups level. I had a certain reaction to it. And while you can kind of feel the absence of direction towards this, the way you used to put yourself into it, again, I have to insist, it's allowing you to reroute other avenues to your heart. The healing elements, being able to feel yourself in a different way, look at yourself in a different way. What are you finding there in your heart now, compared to how it used to feel when you were building with this or connecting with it? Because I do see some active structure. And it gave you a bold sense of direction, but again, it was on such a small scale. But when you had access to it, when you did put yourself into it, boy, howdy did it feel good. Why it exited? You would know best. I see a reaction to it. And how it kind of threw you out of whack, you know. Your normal processes, how you would typically react to this. Let's see Temperance, please. Let's see Temperance. Show me Temperance, please. Show me Temperance. I don't know what the active construct was. I just know that when it exited, it felt painful, as well as final. Let's see that Temperance, please. The Magician, Four of Cups, Judgment, you know, you want to feel better. Since this happened, the Magician, the Four of Cups, Judgment. Okay. It's so interesting. I was trying to, the connectivity level to this suggests it's not that big a deal. Okay. You showed me Three of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. Working constructs, but they're not overly demanding. They're not. They're very simple. They're incredibly straightforward. You can have a Three of Pentacles and a Three of Cups just in your general day-to-day activities and or life. You know, I could get that just by achieving errands. You know? These are really basic constructs, but you're saying to you it meant a lot. Like a lot. I'm not taking that away from you. But it was taken away. Okay. I'm trying to understand the emotional numbness and the moon and the need to kind of bury it all so you don't have to feel it. Okay. And in that insistence that you don't have to feel it, you are finding other ways to reroute to your heart. So there's a teaching element in here with the Hermit. So that's why I'm not discouraging you. Because it is showing you different avenues of your heart outside of this. You're learning things about your feelings and its structure, what you're finding in there, what you put in there, why you value it. It's taking you back to points of pride and reference within you as someone who's already stable and lovely and generous. Someone who more or less has their shit together, right? You remember those past elements and you're incorporating them and mixing them with new elements of what you're finding in your heart space. So in a weird way, Taurus, I'm very rarely going to say something like this, but you kind of shutting down around this, on this particular subject, looks like it might have been good for you. It's like you can't find your direction in this anymore. It got cut off. And it's so weird because I was trying to find a way to liken it, to take it out of the metaphysical and bring it more into reality. So let's say you've always enjoyed meeting so-and-so Friday, 9 a.m. for a coffee, right? That's a low-level concept of 3 of Pentacles and 3 of Cups. In fact, it's maybe more like a page. But I'm trying to break it down. Okay. And you've always enjoyed that. See, old so-and-so, Friday, 9 a.m. coffee. And that was your ritual. Let's say you had that ritual for months, seasons, years. Not too much, but it always felt good. Until you couldn't meet that person Friday, 9 a.m. for coffee anymore. And then parts of you, big parts of you, got hurt by that. I can't have Friday, 9 a.m. coffee with so-and-so anymore. So your emotional reaction is much larger than the scale around it. And that's what I'm trying to understand. Why? Why was your reaction to it so much deeper than the output around it? Because you told me, I'm happy to contribute to this, but just not much. I see a lot of your emotionality wrapped up into something that looks like it wasn't heavily constructed. It didn't run too deep or too far. But when it's taken away from you, okay, your reaction is, this hurts. And I'm trying to understand the cause and effect here. Why is your emotional reaction so large compared to the environment for which you found it in, for which there was not much of you in it? But what you did put into it, you liked a lot. You did. So that tells me your emotionality for this ran deeper than perhaps you understood. No matter how much we try to descale it in reality, it's only this or that. You know, kind of like giving change away. It's only 50 cents here or a couple bucks there. You times that by how many offerings per week or monthly, and again, you see how it adds up. So for you, this 3 of Pentacles, this 3 of Cups thing, you're showing me the accumulative effect of time and how it added up. So you're saying it may not have meant much, Christina, but it meant a lot to me. And I don't think I understood that till it started to exit. Because I see you being very clever, but you don't know that you're being clever with your intuitive state, trying to find ways to reroute you to your heart. And perhaps healing it more effectively than I just don't want to think about it. So while this was hurtful, and it looked like it was harsh, it looks like the harshness was coming from a them or a they, but I'm not focusing on the them or a they. I'm looking at you today. That's what I'm concerned about. The exit is as it is. Your reaction to it is understandable. It just it hit you much deeper than I think you could have expected or anticipated, given that accumulative effect over time. But parts of you, in a vague way, are learning to tune in to your true heart space because of it. Does that make sense? And I'm saying that again over here. As you get more comfortable with addressing the fullness of your real heart, not just the parts of you that felt good about this, not the parts of you that felt pride, not the parts of you that felt that you had to emotionally shut down because of it. No, no, no. Once we get more in tune with our Queen of Cups here, in your insistence of holding on to it, so in this respect, I actually think that that was a good thing. I very rarely see the 4 of Pentacles in a positive way. The Magician, the 4 of Cups, and Judgment. In this insistence of your holding on and you finding new ways to reroute to your heart about the situation and how you found yourself in it and what it actually meant to you in the greater scheme of things, you're learning quite a bit about yourself, and this is one of the lessons that's attached to you, is to the Magician, understand what your manifestation is that at the end of all this, all you are manifesting, and perhaps what you always were manifesting, was a way out of a 4 of Cups. Perhaps You were kind of down before whatever this was presented itself. Perhaps you were kind of detached already before whatever this Three of Pentacles, Three of Cups was. And you engaging in it meant more to you than you understood. That over time you're showing me manifestation principles and this concept of I'm not exactly very happy. Please help me out of this universe. Present me something. And it was. And this is a lesson that has yet to arrive, but you're on your way to it. Okay? That lesson is arriving, honey. It is. But again, you're showing me time. It's taking a lot of time here. Temperance is one of the things that was under your moon. So the healing of this and the insight of it, okay, is coming toward you in time. Why it came to you at all, why was it presented to you at all, was kind of like rescue mission from the universe to get you out of a Four of Cups that was already in play. It's a lot of time. And there's a lesson in this. You were manifesting something, and it was presented to you, and your engagement with it says, this makes me feel pretty good. But we didn't really look at it past that. This is why I say we gotta be very conscientious of our manifestation efforts. We're not always aware what we're given in return. Because you're saying that you understood that you were supposed to engage with this enough, in some way. And you did. I don't think you understood how deeply it would take you. Okay. Until it started to exit. Alright, let's keep cracking. Alright. Your strengths, I see that. Your willingness to heal and contemplate these heavy subjects is here. I give you full credit for that. You're a heavily contemplative Taurus. You know, it's so clever. It's like you're out. It's like you're out tricking yourself. It's interesting. I don't want to go anywhere near that. And yet, parts of you are finding other ways to connect with your heart because of this, or rather, the absence of it. You are still finding ways to get back in touch with you, despite your insistence that you don't want to feel about this anymore. It's interesting. You know, the body does have a way of healing itself, 100%. That is our evolution. The human body is an amazing thing. It can heal without us even knowing it. No less is true for the mind, spirit, and heart. But our success in that really comes down to our conscientious awareness of what we're doing. And are we allowing the thoughts to come through? Are we allowing the feelings to come through? Despite how difficult they might present themselves. Your spirit and your emotions are very much wanting to heal in this particular subject. And even though you may not always feel comfortable necessarily in what happened and why, nevertheless, your emotional self is persisting with or without your knowledge. So that's something. That's something. That is something. Tell your intuition I said good job. You have some really amazing, beautiful elements in you. I'm very proud of you. Even if you don't fully understand them or acknowledge them, I promise you they're there. And I know that Friday 9 a.m. coffee, you didn't really understand how much you loved it, you enjoyed it, and perhaps you put yourself into it. 3D world, you knew what you were putting into it. Of course you did. Time, energy, effort, not too much. You knew that. But you didn't seem to know your emotional self was investing too, until it was exited. Emotional investment's tricky. 3D world is easy, comparatively. And the earth signs, that's where you guys get caught a lot. If I only put down this many pentacles, that's it. That's my contributive effort. That stops for me mentally and emotionally and spiritually. No. Your heart in this was so much more invested than you understood in your real world. It's that would explain the kind of hurt I'm seeing around what looks like such a simple subject. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at that, Hermit, please. Your strengths? No kidding, the strengths, honey. This is... You have some access to some beautiful spaces in you. You really do. There's that Eight of Cups again. Oh, yeah. The Four of Swords. There you go, honey. There you go. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Now I see you taking or becoming more of an active participant in your healing, as I've just discussed. Or at some point I touched on it. There you go. So now you kind of have your behind-the-scene processes working for you, even though you're not aware of it. At some point you do. And your Hermit becomes a lot more active as opposed to passive. So here we have, here's that Hermit there. Very clever fellow. He's acknowledging officially the Eight of Cups, the emotional numbness in there. We're going to start healing that actively with the Knight of Swords. In other words, you're going to become a lot more active in your own healing. In other words, cognizant, aware. Okay? Your intuition's done a heck of a job, I must say. It really has. But at some point, the Hermit's really going to take over control here. Okay. He's going to take over that steering wheel, honey. Okay? Two of Cups. Let's see that environment, please. Show me that Two of Cups. Show me that Two of Cups. Show me that Two of Cups. Show me that Two of Cups, please. Two of Cups for the Two of Cups. My. King of Pentacles. There you are. Ten of Wands. You're saying it's very hard to show yourself love. I don't know why you're saying that, but you are. You're saying it's very hard for you to show yourself love, but that you would like to. And that you would possibly like to express it. Okay, so we have the Two of Cups here twice. Even Stevens, right? Two of Cups. In your environment, you're saying it's very hard for you to love yourself and sometimes to express your feelings to others. Sometimes you find it difficult. You are, of course, the kind of classic Taurus who you seem to understand what you put into your 3D. Your feelings sometimes, however, are several paces behind you. And you're showing me it's not always easy for you to emotionally balance up with you, never mind with someone else. That ease will come in time, okay? The more you show yourself confidence in recovery, it will get easier. And this is showing me surrounding environment in terms of emotional availability to what is around you. You're saying, me first and foremost, Christina, it's hard for me to show myself love. Never mind with someone else. But I'm here and I'm showing up. It's got to count for something. It does. It does. You know, becoming more of an active participant in your emotional investment as opposed to just, again, relying on your 3D to express it for you. Have it come more for you. And start with yourself first. You'll always be your best investment, honey. Give yourself that love first and foremost. And it'll be easier for you to share it. Okay? That Six of Cups. Hopes and fears. Let's take a look. Show me that hopes and fears, please. Show me that Six of Cups. Show me that Six of Cups. It's kind of like we're realizing, and this is, okay, it's part of the healing, so you need to realize it, that whatever this Friday 9 a.m. coffee thing was some sort of manifested effort from the universe to alleviate you from something that was already going on. Four of Cups. Disappointment. Emotional detachment, lethargy. Maybe even a little sense of downness. So it's looking like you emotionally banked on this a lot more than you understood. Okay, because you're showing me some magnificent concepts. Chariot, Six of Wands, Temperance. Parts of this soothed you, but you didn't actually acknowledge it. It was under the moon. So again, we didn't really know what we were investing in. 3D, yes. You knew how much of yourself you were putting into this. That is easy to see. What you didn't know is how much of your emotional self got wrapped up in this. And that's okay. The Hierophant, that's you. The Chariot, that's who they are. Somebody's in there with you. Spiritually as well as emotionally. This is the person whom, under the Chariot, you showed an emotional direction towards without actually acknowledging them. Again, I'm only putting so much of myself into this. Three of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. But I do so willingly. Nine of Pentacles, right? That's my own state of independence and free will. Page of Wands, little guy, just so much. So whoever that energy was, that was over here, back here, under the moon, so was the Chariot. And that Chariot is attached to that soulmate and or soul bond. Okay, and there you are, the Hierophant, okay? And the Nine of Cups. It's almost like you hope and fear to understand your feelings for this. Hopes and fears and hopes and fears, it's a tricky little category because one usually provokes the other. What we hope for the most is what we tend to fear the most. You put a soulmate in there. Oh, yeah. Talk about adding a layer of complexity. So, yeah, you're showing me a layer of complexity regarding a special connection here. And that special connection, they are meant to make an imprint on us. Otherwise, we won't learn our lessons, right? Because if they really were just a friend or kind of give or take situation with some bare minimum cooperation, I wouldn't have seen all this complexity surrounding it. So am I surprised to see the Six of Cups? No, not at all. I know how you labeled them in the 3D, likely a label out of convenience, or you just really didn't understand what it was until it exited. Because like I said, that's a hell of a lot of emotional investment and then also suppression of said investment while you were engaging in it. So hopes and fears, do I really feel this way about this connection? Am I really in it too? The answer is yes, but you already know that. You're working your way towards that particular conclusion soon. Okay? What you will do with that knowledge, I do not know. That's where we come down as individuals and human beings. Could you, theoretically, with your higher self, give yourself permission to drive yourself towards this in the name of your own particular sense of happiness, wish, fulfillment, and love with thyself? 100%. Will you? That's up to you. That's up to you. Part of you hopes to. Part of you fears to. Thus, hope and fear. You know? Otherwise, it's beautiful, honey. I'd say good to go. You're green lit. Okay? Once you become more of an active participant, and more to the point, you show yourself love, even though it's hard, the more you will understand where it is you're supposed to go. That's usually how it works. So you're showing me something that's already after the fact, and how your kind of emotional and spiritual energy is catching up towards it. How you really felt about that Friday 9 a.m. coffee, I suppose. I'm sorry I keep going back to that, but if you get too metaphorical in this stuff, which I'm perfectly fine with, people do start to lose patience, and I understand that. What does it look like in the real world? So I try to translate it that way from time to time. 8 of Pentacles, please. And that outcome. I'm very impressed here. And it might seem like a white mess to you, and the Taurus I'm looking at, you're going... But that's why you're working through it. And there's a part of you that's so much more cleverer than you are, you and your pentacles. Their intuition is so much stronger than that. It really is rerouting you, honey. You're learning to hotwire your own particular heart differently because of this situation. So it's very interesting. And here we have the bolder truth of it. I hope that this is actually for me or correct for me, and I fear that it might be simultaneously. So it's a little bit more than like I said, a Friday morning coffee, you know? So the 8 of Pentacles. And the outcome, the Emperor, the Lovers, the Moon. Wow. Yes, indeed. Oh, there's a certain boldness of heart in you, very much so. I can't say I'm surprised. You showed me such beautiful energy today. Complicated. I know you're a Taurus that really relies on your 3D investments to tell you what to do. Your emotional investment was a whole other thing, honey. Your emotional investment was completely off-grid, even to you. That's why I think you're having to reroute your understanding of your own feelings. It makes sense. Well, to me, it does. Hopefully it's not total gibberish to you, but you'll let me know. Put it in the comments, or your cross-watchers will. Somebody will pipe up. I know that. Once more, I'd like to give a special shout-out to Al, my moderator, who has to work so hard. Sometimes, particularly with the Taurus readings, bless him. 8 of Pentacles and the outcome. I see that's real diligent work. This is something you do understand, and you seem to be launching yourself into it. The more you launch yourself into it, the stronger your sense of independence and sense of full empowered self comes out. We're going to take that strong connection out of the Moon. What you do with it, again, I don't know. But talk about becoming a very active participant. So the more you understand what you hope and fear, the more you start to show me a sense of, I need to do something with this. I don't know what it is. But you start with taking that person out of the Moon, which again, I'll remind you is how you opened, and really starting to look at it. And parts of you are going to feel very empowered by it, by recognizing it. By recognizing it. Seeing its worth and its value. What you do with that, I don't know. But there's more of the acknowledgement in here that you would rather hope for it than say fear it. Okay. Okay. So, It might seem like a, well, what does that all mean? I've already kind of explained it, haven't I? It's a process. You're showing me an intricate emotional process. It takes time. There's your reaction to it, which you're still dealing with, the exit of it specifically. What I think is interesting is a relevant past, how it put you into such a good place of you. But again, it was so low functioning. 3 of Cups, you didn't think it was all that, did you? I know. You didn't think, specifically, you didn't feel that it was all that. And the more you become an active participant, show yourself love, you start to engage in the winning formula. The winning formula is that you win in the end. You will know what to do with this in time. Okay? But first, really accepting it for what it is instead of what it isn't. That's going to be step 1. Allowing yourself to see yourself in it, how you contributed to it, how you actually feel about it. All that. I trust that you will know what to do in time. You seem to know what you will do in time. I don't know what that working on that connection looks like to you. I just know that you feel empowered once you know. Okay? And that's all we can hope for, really. Within 2 weeks, what that means I could not say. Within 2 weeks, I don't know. On a foggy day, within a year, and for some of you, within 18 months. Within weeks, I don't know, deepening the process of what we're seeing here. On a foggy day, there might be something in there for you about the fogginess of a particular day where you have insight, possibly in a couple of weeks. Let's say misty, foggy, something where it seems like the world's a little bit more opaque as opposed to clear. That's when you might have some insight. Within a year to 18 months, you might be showing me signs of this is what it really is, and I understand that now. The last time you felt empowered is when you were connecting with this and it felt good, but we didn't know the strength of it. Now you're showing me empowerment again and the realness of it. Okay? And that's further down the road. Again, this should not be a surprise to anyone. Temperance, temperance, hermit, hermit. Moon, moon. Very consistent today. So all these elements, while they are further out, they are beautiful once realized. Okay? And for some of you, you'll know what you'll do with it within a year to 18 months. Okay? All right, Taurus, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.